Takashi. Today's videos are about boundaries, and I felt the need to make this as a part of the People Pleaser series because I think boundaries for me was not something that was really explained in my life. Like as a concept, I never really was taught how to set boundaries with people. Well, I think the main reason, firstly, is because I was sexually abused when I was younger by a family member. So that's reason number one. When I was violated on such a personal, deep, spiritual level. Like I do feel like, my sexuality is one of the most sacred parts of my existence, and it was messed with from a very young age. So, yeah, that's reason number one why I didn't really have a strong sense of boundaries. Like I remember many times in my life, there was this time when I changed in front of the whole class after swimming. Like I showed my penis to everyone, and the whole class laughed at me. And the thing is, it didn't dawn on my mind that, hey, don't change outside, go to the bathroom like a normal fucking person who doesn't want their penis seen by everyone. But you see, for some reason my mind missed that part, and it was because of the things that happened to me, traumatic things that happened to me, that I guess changed the way I perceived life and how I perceived danger and what is dangerous and what isn't dangerous. Right. So that's one of the reasons why, as a child, I didn't really understand the concept of boundaries. Even going into adulthood, I was still such a chronic people pleaser. I was still the kind of person that would give people too much of myself, too much of my space, for the sake of me being loved and cared for and approved by whoever it is I'm trying to please. My people pleasing did become quite severe though. It extended to just pretty much everyone. So like anyone, even if I didn't know you, I had to be nice to you. Otherwise I felt like I was not going to be okay. Like I felt I was going to die if I was any sort of mean to you. Like even if I was mean to you by mistake, I felt seriously bad. So yeah, and that is also because of the fact that my parents never allowed me to be angry. They never allowed me to display emotions. They never allowed themselves to be held accountable for, I guess, doing things wrong. And I mean, they did, from time to time, like they would say, sorry, oh, I forgot to pick you up, or blah, blah, blah. But then you see my parents in particular just have a habit of saying sorry, just so that I can hear it. Because it's like if they say sorry, then maybe I wouldn't speak so much about it. But then they don't change anything about it. This is actually the main point of the video, because I'm currently going through a situation where I've got no contact with my mom, and this is simply because I try to sit my mom down and explain to her just the kind of person I am, and also how I feel like she has violated the person that I am, because I'm in a space of recovering from people pleasing, learning how to respect myself as a human being, and this version of myself a lot of people don't like. And really what that really means is that people were accustomed to the broken version of me, the version of me that never stood up for myself or never spoke when I was being ill-treated, never spoke up for myself and just allowed anything and whatever to happen. Because that's the kind of person I used to be. I used to just let people say whatever, do whatever, and I just kind of take it on the chin, because I believed subconsciously that I deserved it. I deserve bad things happening to me. I don't deserve love, like actual proper love. I always felt like I deserve people treating me like shit. So in the spirit of healing that I've been doing, I've tried to just sit different people down in my life to just explain to them, in this next phase of my life, this is how I'm moving, and if you cannot move with me like this, I've got to cut you off. And I've done that with pretty much everyone. Everyone in my life. I don't have any friends right now that I can say are from the life that I had or like growing up, whether from high school, from childhood, from church, whatever. I don't even have a church. I'm not even a Christian anymore. I'm just like, it's a completely new chapter, new journey. It's basically, I'm at a point in my life where I'm finally making decisions that I want to make because it's my life. And I have the confidence to make them, and I don't, and it's like I just own my story now. I own who I am, and I own everything that has happened to me. But in order for me to do that, boundaries need to be set, because a lot of people don't, like, what's been happening with me is that a lot of people haven't really allowed me to express this new, I guess, found sense of self-identity that I am walking in these days. A lot of people don't like it, and they'll always come up with reasons as to why whatever it is that I'm doing is not the right way, or I shouldn't be doing it like that. Like, oh, come on, you can't not speak to your mom, she's your mom, right? Like thing is, so many people in our society are so quick to just say things and believe things, not really knowing why we say them and believe them, right? Like when a person says, oh, come on, like, she's your mom, you don't even know my mom. Like, you have no idea who my mom is. What if my mom is a serial killer? What if she's a psycho? I'm not sure she isn't, by the way, but point is, you don't know, right? So for a person to just say, like, oh, you can't do that, it shows who the person, the kind of person who's saying that is not self-aware themselves. Like, they don't have enough self-awareness to be aware of me as an individual who is not living in the same reality or circumstances as they are living. I hope all of that makes sense. So as a result, I've had, like, my boundaries have gotten quite extreme to the point where it's just like, I've just cut people out completely, and I do miss them, I really do, but I can't go back. Like, I've found so much freedom, like, in myself. Like, every day I'm just happy to be alive. Like, I'm just like, and it's tough, like, there's an unraveling and an undoing of just, identity and beliefs and just all these false fixed perceptions that I've been holding for so long that were so damaging and just not really contributing to the betterment of, well, for me, right? Like, just like my self-esteem, my mental health, my emotional health as well. And it's been a very difficult journey, because to unlearn all the things that harmed you in the past, you have to cut yourself off from people who taught you these things and are still currently walking in these things, in these systems, in these matrices, right? The difficulty is that I can't really free myself and free my mind and do my own thing if I'm still walking around with people who want me to do the old thing. I'm trying to do a new thing, but I'm still walking around with people who still want the old thing. Many rappers say this. Niggas say they want the old shit, but blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, it's that kind of thing. It's just like, people want you to go back to that version of yourself, and I don't owe anything to people. If anything, what I owe to people is to put myself first. That's what I owe to people, and that's what we all owe to each other. Because if we don't do that, then if I don't put myself first, then I'll end up going around blaming everyone as to why my life is so miserable and why I'm depressed, and then I'll kill myself. And that's no shade to people who are suicidal. I've been suicidal pretty much my whole life. So I know what it's like to wake up every day wanting to die and wanting to kill yourself. But I also know what it's like wanting to be alive. And I feel like that's why for the longest time I could never bring myself to actually kill myself, because I knew that I do want to be alive. There's just something wrong. I knew that, like, something's not right. I could kill myself, but that's not the answer here. There's something deeper going on. So I guess that's why I've never really killed myself. And I'm glad I haven't. One thing I want to end off this video with. I feel like I was speaking about my mom earlier on. Or I might have not. Either way, I'm going to start now. Or continue now. So I'm in a situation right now where I'm going in contact with my mom. And I haven't spoken to her. Today is like the third day I haven't spoken to her. And it's very difficult, guys. It's not easy. I even want to take off the accessories for this one because this is quite a serious topic. There is such a thing as narcissistic mothers. There is such a thing as like just evil parents and like parents who are not good and families that are not good. There is such a thing. And a lot of the time, what's going to happen is if you have a toxic mom, a toxic dad, a toxic whatever, and this doesn't even have to be just family, it can even be friends, toxic boss. It can be anyone toxic that you like are in close contact to a lot of the time, or you have a relationship with them and it's just like it's not working for you, it's not healthy, and it's not because you just don't like them, but it's because that person is literally a toxic person, and you being in a relationship with that person will destroy you before it destroys them. So, I've had to go into contact with my mom. Alright, I think I did start speaking about this, then I spoke about many other things. And I tried to explain to her, like, unless she is able to have that conversation with me where she's able to see and acknowledge my pain, and not only acknowledge it but take accountability for the fact that she caused it, because until she's able to do that, I cannot trust her to treat me better in the future. If anything, she's just going to continue doing the same thing that I have a problem with over and over again, and me continuing to try to have a relationship with her is basically me going insane. It's me doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So I think about 2 weeks back I said this to her. I said, I cannot do this with you until we have this conversation. She's walking in the background right now. I cannot do this with you until we do this thing. And her response to me was like, okay, well, cool. If that's what you want, if you don't want a relationship with me, fine. I respect your decision. She was she acted like very nonchalant about it. And then I just said, okay, look, Mom, as long as you remember that the ball's in your court. That's what I said, and then I walked away. That was 2 weeks ago, and then I think for the past 2 weeks, I greeted her every day, I'd still kind of speak to her, because I feel like, because we live in the same house, sometimes we need to buy bread, or things are needed, and it's just you kind of have to speak, But then 3 days ago, I was just thinking to myself, no, I'm not respecting myself, because this is what happened. I kid you not, guys. So as I'm drawing back my energy from my mom, slowly but surely she's noticing how I'm just not fucking around with her anymore. I'm not vibing. I'm not trying to see her, I'm not trying to speak to her, I'm not as in my mom's face as I once was. And there's this other day, so what my mom likes doing, she likes being on the phone a lot in the house, especially when I'm around. When I'm not around, who knows, I don't know. But point is, when I'm around, and thing is, with this whole situation going on, she knows that it's in her court. She knows the choice is hers to make. But what she will continue to do is just to have phone calls on top of phone calls on top of phone calls and pretend nothing is going on. And just carry on with life we didn't have that really deep, painful conversation about how I don't want to have a relationship with her. And I mean, guys, she was crying, like, during that argument I had with her 2 weeks back. Like, it was very emotionally intense. And I was very angry. I was yelling, I was screaming. Granted, like, it was very emotionally charged, but I had every right to be angry, you know? And I've never really had a chance to be angry. I think I have said that. So, just trying to wrap all of this up, I mean, she's basically been, like, doing this thing where she would, I guess, so it was like to people who are not in the situation, so like basically outside the house and not seeing everything that's going on and are not privy to all the information that is, like, you know, present in the situation. So like a lot of people like don't actually know a lot, right, about what's going on between me and my mom and why it's even happening in the first place. And I've told my mom, like, hey, like, the ball's in your court. And thing is, she hasn't really done much, but the only thing she has been able to do is tell other people about, like, how much she's supporting me and how she's trying to get me through this time. And like, she's basically like painting the picture on the outside but not doing any actual work on the inside. So she's taking credit for the work and the growth that I am doing without actually contributing to the work and the growth that I am doing, the healing that I am doing. Like, she's not doing any healing at all. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she is. I mean, let me not assume, but if she is, then you know, it's a weird one, because I told her, like, yo, it's in your like, it's with you. The choice is yours. If you want this back, we have to have that conversation. And yeah, I mean, she's just been roaming around on the phone, distracting herself, not trying to not pay attention to everything that's happening. So, you know, I had to cut her off. So 3 days ago, I just stopped speaking to her. And it was very scary at first, but I'm not gonna lie, it's really changed so much for me. Like, I have almost no anxiety. Like, it's so weird. Like, I don't have anxiety. I know that I don't have to be depressed. I know that I don't have to spiral. And it's literally because of the access points that I've cut off for people to access me in different parts and in different ways in my life. Even right now, she still has no clue what's going on. And thing is, she has this very big sense of entitlement, like, I must go to her and fix things with her. She's gonna die if she thinks that's gonna happen. She's gonna die with me never doing that. And also, I wanna just add, Kore, this whole Christian notion of, like, hey, they are your parents, honor thy mother and father, obey your mother and father, in. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, like, it's not practical, eh? Personally, it doesn't make sense to me to just take that verse alone and then just, like, put it there and paste it on every single parent in the world, regardless of how we feel about them or how they've been treating us. So, yeah, I wanted to say that be careful of people who use that, that word or that phrase as, I guess, as a reason or a justification for you to excuse any sort of behavior that you know is not healthy, that you know is toxic and abusive. Yeah, because then that's just even more suffering, and it's for no reason, by the way, and it doesn't get you anywhere. The people that I've observed in my own life who have followed that course of action, they're not doing much better than the parents who did this to them. They're actually becoming exactly who the parents are. And that's why I've had to like really just toughen up and make this tough decision to not do what everyone else thinks I should do and do what my intuition is telling me to do. Because I've been people pleasing for just way too long. And I've only got one life. I'm tired. I'm tired of living in fear of what will happen if I just put myself first. And for the past 3 days, I'm not gonna lie, again, it was scary. It really was, but it was also one of the most freeing times of my life. Because it's helped me to be so grounded in reality in general, right? Like I'm grounded, I'm here, I'm alert, I'm alive, and I'm not thinking from, I guess, a delusional place. Delusional being like, having fixed beliefs in my head, like, actually that's another video. That's another video. But yeah, I guess the main point is, number one, if you know you have to set boundaries, set boundaries. No one is going to set them for you, especially the people you want to set them with. If anything, the people you want to set them with will not allow you to set them. So you must go out of your way to set them. Otherwise, they will own you, and it will be no one else's fault but your own. That's number one. Number two, respect your boundaries. You must respect your boundaries. Respect your boundaries more than anyone else will. Because the truth is, people will only respect your boundaries as much as you do. Right? So if you say, hey, can we please not speak for a week, but then you speak to them the next day, then it's your fault. Like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So you have to stick to your word. And also, like, number three, like, sometimes it's hard to like initiate like an extreme boundary, like a cutoff, right? Especially with family members. So try to do it like slowly in the beginning. Understand that it's not even about how they feel. It's about you, right? It's always about you. It's like it's about you. You're the one that's recovering here. You're the one that's healing and growing and trying to do this thing. So make sure you keep the focus on how you're gonna make it, how you're gonna feel when you make whatever decision, or when you decide to either keep a person or lose a person. It's about you, not about that person. That person will be fine. They can take care of themselves. They're adults. And then start taking small steps and actions every day that you can repeat every day to basically reaffirm those boundaries. Because the more you do the thing, so the more you don't speak to that person, or the more you don't do that thing which helps affirm that boundary, then the more of a safe space you begin to create within yourself, no matter what your environment is, because truth be told, we can't always change the environment. And the environment shouldn't be the determining factor of what we're capable of. Tough times reveal what an individual is made out of. That's what they should actually be revealing. They shouldn't be taking us out and just be like, well. No, it's just like, well, it is tough, sure, but let's see what you're made out of. Can you rise above this toughness? Because truth is, there's always a way. There really is, but you have to be willing to fight for it. Because it's your life, and no one else is going to hand it to you, because no one is entitled to being given anything. The fact that I have life today and that I'm breathing today on its own is a complete miracle. Like it's that alone. Like there's nothing that says I am entitled to be alive today, guys. By the way, absolutely nothing. There's people who died yesterday who are probably more deserving on paper to be alive today, but they're dead. My best friend died. When? When was it? Was it this year? I think it was this year or last year. I'm not gonna lie. No, it was last year. Yeah, it's been like over a year now. Shucks. He's gone. You know, and like there was not really a reason for him to be gone. No one can think of one. You know, but he's gone. So it just goes to show, no one is entitled. Like no one, we are owed nothing in this life. And if we ever get anything, if I get the next breath of life, the next day, if I get this relationship with that person in my life, we should really learn how to not, number one, not take it for granted. Number two, not take advantage. And number three, above both those things, be grateful, right? Like, even if you do, like, okay, no, actually, just don't. Don't take advantage. Don't be arrogant and, like, I guess, what's that word I used in the beginning? Yeah, don't, what's the word? I forgot the word. Don't take it for granted, yes. Don't take it for granted. All the good people or things that you have. Because they're here today and gone tomorrow. Life is but a vapor. Like, I think I wake up a lot of days in fear because, you know, it's just like, yo, death could come at any time. And but it also brings me to a space of like just real gratitude, honestly. Anyways, okay guys, yeah, but that's the video I wanted to make. If you guys did enjoy this video, please like, subscribe. I am trying to be a YouTuber. I am trying to make money off of this thing. So honestly, all of you guys' just views even, they really do help me. Even just you guys watching for this long, like, thank you. Even if you didn't like and subscribe, I'm not going to force you to, you know. I don't really want anyone to like and subscribe anyways if they don't want to. But if you do like it, I am going to be making more. So yeah, do the right thing. And take care, guys.